Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Good Friday afternoon, everybody. Joey Only here up in the Caribou Mountains. Yes, I've been gone all week. Sorry, I hope you missed me. Hope you didn't miss me. I don't know. I don't know what I hope. Yeah, I was off doing firefighter courses, doing some OFA 2 training, transport endorsements. I was leading some classes for our fire crew on radio safety, on fires, on weather, on all that stuff. Yeah, it's a good week with the Wolverines. And I feel like we're building towards something here. You know, there's something in place here that could be very, very special. And I think other people in the fire world that kind of those guys. Yeah, just wait. You wait. We're getting our shit together, and I'm committed to this project now. I really like my boss, especially, and that's a rare thing if you know me. It's been a rare thing in my life that Joey Only is like, I love my boss. But the truth is, I really do. Costas is so great, you know. And so I'm going to put some videos out here a little later showing some of the things we did this week, of course. One big takeaway, though, was I blew a brake line. The cylinder basically extended too far inside the brakes and busted off. And next thing I knew, we're sitting there after a fitness test, which I didn't get footage of, and the liquids, brake fluid's pouring out, and I'm like, this isn't good. Well, we'll throw a bunch of brake fluid in, I says, and then we'll get back to Lana's place. Thank you, Lana, for letting me stay at your, having Kenny there especially, using your farm as a bit of a base there. All right, so I was like, I'll limp it back to the farm tonight, and, and boss is like, nope. We're going to go load coal right now and get parts. And there we are in his driveway, and everyone's watching the Oilers game. Costas is an Oilers fan, but there he is instead, helping me take my tires off and get my truck road safe, And it's like, that's what a friend does for you, and that's the kind of boss I want to work for. So, I just feel really good about the week. You can tell I feel really good. You can tell when I had a really good week and feel like I'm involved and cared about and part of a crew when I get home and then I have a nightmare that the whole world turns on me. I get these weird nightmares sometimes where I did nothing wrong and everybody just fucking hates me everywhere, And it's like, you're like begging, please, I didn't do anything. And they're like, it's him. It's like, oh man, those anxiety dreams are so bad. So anyways, let's get on with the show. There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Hit like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. I'm back again here. Caribou Weather Dude YouTube. Yes, so big week in Manitoba. Record-setting weather there. Big time heat. Second warmest May temperature ever recorded in Manitoba happened in Winnipeg a couple days back. That, of course, drove fire behavior, which was out of control. But then we had this big low move through, and the backside of that's even put a little bit of snow down on Riding Mountain National Park. So you went from plus 37 in Manitoba to some snow falling in the southern half of the province, right? Meanwhile, here in BC, we're still in this upper level low pattern that's coming off the Gulf of Alaska, and it's just sending us crap and crap and crap, and it's boring and it's cold. What is it? It's 7 Celsius right now at 11:38 here in Wells. Right? Terrible. In the meantime, so yes, the thunderstorm possibility in BC is there today. What do we have here on, looks like the Okanagan Connector, 97C. Yes, it is. Wet snow possible this morning from Panas Summit to the Okanagan Connector. Could see up to 5 centimeters. That's probably finished by now, but that's just a little bit of a, what's going on right now? Well, there's that. What about over here in MB and SK? Rainfall warnings. Isn't this good news? So they just went through all this crappy fires, Rain will taper off as of 8 a.m. 48-hour rainfall accumulations in Carberry were 66 millimeters, 63 in Somerset. CFB Shiloh got about 59. Brandon got 56.2 there, where Justin and them are from. Manitou 40, so on down the line. So that's really good news for agriculture, and really good news, of course, as well for the fire situation there, which is still pretty bad. 68.8 at Moose Mountain. That's a lot of rainfall. Good stuff. And a further 5 to 10, 20 millimeters are possible there in Saskatchewan side. No, so it's not going to Alberta. I'm just really tired right now and not functioning. Air quality warning up there, so some smoke problems still persist up in Fort Severn along the north Ontario coast of Hudson Bay. Freezing rain continues today up there. So that's more or less, unless you're here on Quebec side there at Umjiak or, some of these places, wind warning up there. Anyways, let's get out of here and look at A few things that stand out right now. So, preliminary new record of minus 2.1 set the 15th of May. So, Fort St. John, that's going to calm fires down a little bit up there. And we had a bit of snow, I think, come through the North Rockies over the last few days, as far as I'm aware. On May 15th, Environment Canada received reports of tornadoes near Gretna, Sperling, Niverville. At this time, there's insufficient evidence to confirm that tornadoes have occurred. However, meteorologists continue to investigate the event. I mean, come on. We have a photo of the land spout on the ground. So I think it's just a matter of time before that gets confirmed. Okay, what's going on in New Brunswick? Okay, daily maximum temperature record set, 32.3 in Bathurst, Charlo over 32, Doketown 30, Kuchabugiak 32.2, Miramichi 32.6, 29.6 in Moncton. This is nuts. 28.3, nuts temperature. Absolutely bonkers. This is ridiculous stuff. Even in Winterland set a new record of 19.5. So even Winterland setting temperature records in Winterland, not so winterish anymore there. Halifax, 26.3 new record, and 28.2. That's the Shearwater area, that record. And then Stanfield Airport, 28.2. Sydney at 28.2 for Frankie, really warm there. Yarmouth, 21.3, some big time. And even Ontario getting wins in Chatham, 102. Windsor, 85. What else? There's a lot of things to talk about today. Prince Edward Island, not county, that's in Ontario. Island, 26.4 temperature, really warm. St. Peter's Bay Area, also 26.8. That's all, finally. Anyways, to the jet stream, 500 millibar heights. That's up at the jet stream. So that's, 17 to 21,000 feet. That's where the air is moving faster up there than it is down here, obviously. And that's generally our weather delivery system. So what are we looking at over the next bunch of days? Between Friday and next week. Okay, here we go. We're on the north side of it. Boom, you got a little bit of shit coming in there. And then, we're on the north side of it, cold side of it, big time low building up next week over on the Ontario side, moving out towards the East Coast, but pretty quiet for us. You can see now today, we're going to go back to see that low moving through. It's dragging up that heat. That's what's making it so warm in the East Coast. That's what made it so warm in Manitoba, but that's what's made it so warm in Ontario. That's what made for so much winds. That's why there's explosive thunderstorms going off down there in the United States right now on the East Coast side. There's our storm again. We'll start back over, watch it go on out. And BC just taking some cool, crappy. There's that upper level low reestablishing itself. It's more or less been there for months now. It kind of gets stronger and weaker and stronger and weaker, but that general basic pattern has been there. And then we got this high pressure blocking system here that's kind of preventing the warm weather that's out there. And there's a lot of warm weather out there from getting up to here. So how long can this persist? I'm still not sure. I'm really on the fence this year with which direction summer's going to go. And I don't think I'm the only one. I'm skeptical that the heat will come. But, there's more heat than there was. So I look at past years that were kind of like this, like 2019, 2020, and I'm like, well, that's what those years did. But those years, like, planet Earth is significantly hotter now than it was 5 years ago. It's noticeable. Meteorologists are talking about it. So big high pressure off the BC coast. Lows just sitting up there off the Gulf of Alaska, coming into the Aleutian Islands. Yeah, just crappy, miserable conditions persisting for BC. We see the large low pressure system now, more or less coming towards Lake Superior. As it's drawing cold air down from the north, we got some snow maybe possible further north, but certainly freezing rain possibilities in Ontario, maybe even a little bit still bordering on Manitoba. I'm not sure exactly when that's supposed to move on out, but I would think today you're going to see conditions improve a little bit in the long run, but a lot of that moisture is still raining heavy down in Manitoba. Raining down the states below, raining down there significantly on the front side of it too over in Quebec. So that's moving its way on through. We'll watch this slide on through. Meanwhile, BC just taking crappy weather. I mean, it doesn't look very organized. It's not necessarily anything very exciting, but we could see some pop-up thunderstorms today because of that. And we do see a lot of thunderstorm activity going down there on the Appalachians and on the east side of it. There's that big low moving on through to the East Coast. Finally, watch it drag the cool air in behind, and it will establish for Ontario a weather change as well. Meanwhile, we got the high pressure now encircling itself. That'll start feeding some warmer weather out towards Alberta as we get into the weekend. Through BC staying crappy. Another low hitting the BC coast in time for Monday. Just another round of it. The 10-day and 14-day forecast temperature anomalies are not showing BC to be warm. So we're not seeing a real return to warm pattern at all for May, at least. Whether or not we see that about face in June or whether it takes until July, whether it does at all, still up for grabs this year. So it's not a sure bet that we're going to have a big, crazy fire season. I'm waiting for evidence. I need evidence to make a final conclusion as to where we're going. And every year I've usually had a pretty good idea by now. And I just got to admit, because of this Gulf of Alaska upper level low pattern, because of the way this high pressure is blocking here, until I see it move in some way, until I see it do something different, I can't say we're going to have, it's like 2019. Weather Network was like, BC is going to be Dr. Doug Gillum there. He's like, BC, king of heat this summer. And everyone's sharing it. Tens of thousands of shares. Great clickbait there, Doug. And nothing fucking happened. Boo, you ate that one hard. And he was the only guy out there who was saying, nay, wait a second. I don't see any evidence that BC is going to be the king of heat yet. It's the end of June, and I'm in Kamloops, and it's been the max 25 degrees a lot of days. It's not been very hot here. It's been cloudy a lot. It's been overcast a lot. We've been watching that weather come in off the Gulf of Alaska. I don't know, Dr. Doug. I don't see it. I don't see it yet. I don't see where you're getting sure, some computer models are saying it, but I don't physically see the eye test evidence isn't happening. Of course, you guys know I'm not a scientist, right? So, I use data, I use their science, but I also am a lot on feel, on experience, on my understanding of where I am and how things tend to move. And I was like, I don't see it yet. And people remembered that. They're like, Joey was the only one who said it wouldn't be hot this summer. And I was right. We had a down fire season. And I care about these things because a down fire season last year, we had a month of work that was okay, but the season turned dead once that upper level low pattern we're looking at right now started to establish itself. And it did establish itself. It established itself in the end of July. And it's been kind of there off and on ever since. So I need to see evidence that motherfucker's going to move. Significant risk of deadly weather today down there in the USA. Oh, the lightning just torching off right now. That system's been moving eastward, and we got high risk of extreme weather there. Look at that, a little bit of lightning in in Nova Scotia. Boy, I am tired. It's been a long week. Been a very long week. And you can see that larger low is right there coming into Ontario, moving towards Great Lakes area. And you can see that counterclockwise motion. That's what lows do if you're new here. High pressure systems move clockwise. The lows move counterclockwise. You can see it's pulling that cold air down from the north, making things absolutely treacherously shitty. Meanwhile, in BC here, just a lot of overcast, a little bit of showers there and there. Nothing too insane. I hate that I have to click on pressure every time. Fix that, Windy. What do we see here? We got look at this bend in the isobar. Short wave trough here developing in Caribou region, somewhere between Williams Lake and Quesnel. We're expecting to see a short wave trough develop. We got a little bit of precip out there, a little bit of moisture, but some of that could turn into lightning today. Where? What do you say, Joey? Let's find out. We'll click on the thunderstorm icon first and have a look through. We're just going to do a day or two forecast here today. We'll keep coming back because I've been gone for a bunch of days, so I just want to take you into the weekend here. What's going on this weekend? What are we going to see? Well, the biggest story will probably be whether or not we get some lightning in province. There we go. We'll zoom in here at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Where we see, and these are not strong thunderstorm indications for me. No. Does that mean there's a low risk of thunderstorms? No, I don't think there's a low risk of thunderstorms. I think there's a pretty good risk that we'll see some lightning. I just don't think there's a risk of strong thunderstorms today. So we're not looking at thunderstorms that are going to do anything that exciting. And especially we're not in great weather conditions. Oh, look at this. Saturday's going to be better. We're not in great conditions for fire in most places either. So it's not like these lightning storms are going to have a huge impact that way either. And this is the thing. We could come into a pattern off that Gulf of Alaska. We have a lot of moisture. We get heavy rainstorms that come with a lot of lightning in them, but it doesn't necessarily have the conditions for burning. A little less so the case up in the fort. I'm a little bit more concerned about the forts when it comes to that. I know they just took some precip. They just took some cooler weather. That's true, but if they have a lot of lightning up there, it's still dry enough that we could see some fires take. Maybe they'll just sit there and skunk around. But, the good news is nowhere's looking that warm in BC over the next little while. So I'm not necessarily concerned at a huge fire outbreak within this lightning. No, I'm not. But here we have widespread. This is the first time we've seen this year widespread thunderstorm potential across BC. We're seeing potential down as low as Kelowna. Certainly the Kamloops region between Kamloops and Revelstoke possible. Certainly Williams Lake area looking like a strong target. And Fort St. John to Fort Nelson. That's strong targets today. Going to be chance, not today, but tomorrow. There's a chance of thunderstorms that are actually going to do something there. So going ahead a little bit further, do we see anything really significant changing here? Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. Lots of lightning on Saturday, Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, and whatnot. We'll come back here in a minute and look at what kind of rain we're expecting, but that's interesting. Lightning going on into the early evening after the dinner hour. Maybe seeing some in Fort St. John still as we come into the evening. That will start to taper off as the ground cools through the day. Low temperatures. These aren't warm. These are not warm storms. They're not like being fed by a great deal of heat. So do I think they're going to be extreme storms in any way? No. Here's that next low pressure system we were talking about coming in off the coast. Look at the thunderstorm risk from the Alberta foothills. More or less up to Fort St. John, high level Fort Nelson tomorrow. This is some bad news. Like I say, there is a risk that some of these can start fires. Yeah, I'm still not convinced the weather's there for fire behavior necessarily. But look, it's a little different story on this side of the mountains. High level at 20 degrees, Peace River 17, Fort Nelson 19. Definitely warm enough that, fire activity isn't out of the question. That some of these may influence the burning of more fires, this and that, right? So it's really going to be a matter of how much rain are they going to get there through the weekend. So thunderstormy weekend, stormy Sunday, up in the Peace especially. They seem to have, it's been that way for the last 4 years now. The Northeast has been taking the most lightning in BC over the last 4 years. I'm convinced of that now. It's mind-boggling. I'm more and more feeling like maybe I need to go to Fort Nelson to become a storm chaser. Like no one's up there looking at what's going on. Here comes that next low in for Monday, and that's going to start our week off with a whole bunch of bullshit. It's going to suck. And I think a lot of these storms are somewhat related to this incoming system. And even Monday, you could see a little bit northeastern BC. I'm not too stoked on some things here. The temperatures aren't great. We got possibility of snow up in the mountains in BC here still. Little risk of lightning in Prince George area today, Man, maybe the power will get knocked out and I won't have to watch the Leafs getting knocked out today. How fucking pathetic was last day or 2 days ago? I can't even explain to you what being a Leaf fan is like. If they don't win this game today, I don't ever want to see Mitch Marner in a Toronto Maple Leafs uniform again. You had every chance in the world. You're throwing blind backhand passes to... Oh, God, it was so pathetic. It was so awful. So rainfall. There's rainfall totals coming, and we're getting lucky that way. I mean, do I think this is substantial rain? Oh, a little bit more so for the coast, yeah. The coast isn't looking too bad in terms of that. Precip's is good for you. Is a whole lot coming inland? Well, here Saturday's looking better. Look at that. All that thunderstorm activity, Western Canada, sparking off. Could even go down as far as Vernon. Could be Caribou Center. So I'm going to be watching tomorrow. I'm going to be looking for lightning. I'm going to be kind of out and about. Possibly I got the truck more or less running now, so I can go park somewhere if I think there's a good chance. I'm not sure. It could be that we're a little too chilly here in Wells to be getting much of that lightning. So, that is one of the problems. Yeah, that's one of the problems for us here. Wet weekend, wet into the weekend in the Caribou, Prince George, down the Columbia Mountains, down the Caribous, down the Selkirks, probably even too. A little bit of rain down there, maybe a touch of snow here at higher elevations in there, but no, nothing insane. But yeah, definitely a wet weekend, definitely unsettled, definitely a lot of lightning out there, definitely some weather stories, cool temperatures like Prince George, 8 degrees at 11 in the morning. It's real gross. Maybe highs at 12 in Williams Lake on Sunday. Like, this isn't quite what you really wanted at this point in the May, I know, but it's still May. There's still a lot of cool air up in the north, and it can combine with some of these, with a little warmer weather down there and make some of these lows entirely pissed off. So we're looking at a large lightning outbreak over the weekend, friends. Well, that's about all I got for you this time. I know it's been a little while since I've been around. Sorry about that, but thanks for being patient. Thanks for supporting me. I need to get this channel back up and rolling now that I've been gone for a few days. I'm just watching my ad revenue going down. Oh, how am I going to eat next month? Oh, I just spent so much money on my truck. But hey, I got the 4-wheel drive fixed on Monday. I got my tax return back is what happened. And I got paid out for working for Elections Canada. I was like, get the truck fixed. So now I spent like almost all my money on the truck and I could drive around again. I can't thank everyone enough, though. I can't thank Lana enough. I can't thank my boss at Wolverine enough, Costas. I can't thank Helen enough for putting forward to help me get me my new Kestrel. It's in the mail. It's left Montreal apparently yesterday. So my new Kestrel is inbound. I'm going to have a great new weather weapon this year for the fire line, for thunderstorm chasing, for all this, that, and the other, here at Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Okay, like, share, subscribe, please. Let's go Leafs. Bye.